Welcome to Joke Story Trick Live with Michael Kent. I'm him. Let's go. All right, welcome. We made it to another Tuesday, and tonight I am excited to welcome Amber Falter on the show. I've been trying to get Amber on the show for since last year, so I'm really excited. I hope everyone is having a safe and happy week. Lots of friendly faces in the chat tonight. Having some technical issues this evening, as some of you can already tell. And I appreciate you coming back. If we lose the chat, I don't know what I'll do. Either we'll do it again or we won't. I don't even care. I've done 3 shows today. I'm kind of tired. And if it doesn't work, maybe just Amber's not meant to be on this show. Maybe that's just how this is supposed to work. Or I'll get her on later on in this season. This season's already booked into April, which is awesome. Lots of great guests, lots of friendly faces in the chat tonight, including Patreon members. So thank you so much for that. It was a weird week with lots of Bernie Sanders memes, which somehow overshadowed anything else from the inauguration. Tell me in the chat, did you create a Bernie meme and then get sick of it? Because I kind of did. I made this. I thought this was going to be hilarious. And then 3 days later, I was sick of it. I was like, oh, this is going to be great on my show next week. No, that lasted 3 days. And then my smug ass is like, oh, I went from cackling, laughing at Bernie memes to literally 3 days later, it was like, if I'm going to punch my screen if I see another one. I think I saw everyone that there is. So while you're chatting and telling me if you made a Bernie meme or had a funny one, I am going to tell you about my weekly podcast, Tell Me What to Google. Every week, a listener calls in and tells me something they recently learned from the internet. I do a deep dive. The current episode that was released yesterday is by far my favorite one I've made. It's about a famous James Brown concert in 1968. If you look up any list, this is like iconic concerts, legendary concerts. James Brown, Boston Garden, 1968 is in every one of those lists because it had larger social implications, much larger than the concert. It wasn't necessarily about the music. It was about everything coming together at that particular time period. You can listen to it by going to tellmewhattogoogle.com or just search for Tell Me What to Google wherever you get your podcasts. I'm going to check in with the chat now. Let's see what folks are saying. Dittelman says, I didn't make one, but someone made one about me. Oh, that's amazing. You'll have to text that to me. I don't know that I did see that. I saw you on stage with someone in a chair, and I assumed that you made it because the rest of us did that. So that's my mistake. Great Balls of Flint says, or is it Great Balls of Lint? Flint would be a weird thing to have in your pocket. Everyone's already got lint in their pocket. Let's see. Someone made a post about how stupid they were, and he would not take part. I dotted all the I's with Bernie's. That's fantastic. I made a post about how stupid they were after I made a meme with this one, the one that you saw, where Bernie was sitting here. Anywho, I appreciate everyone checking in with the chat. It's time for some stupid news. One of Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina-scented candles has exploded in a North London home. Neighbors say they heard a bang that sounded like a revolver. One company is seeking paid candyologists to taste test candy. According to the company, they're looking to replace their previous applicants. Musicians DJ Khaled and Fat Joe are making an OnlyFans account together. The photo shoots consist of Fat Joe yelling, "Lean back," and DJ Khaled replying, "Another one." A Maersk container ship reports that they lost 750 containers overboard in the Pacific Ocean. A U.S. Postal Service official responded to the news by saying, "Psh, amateurs." And finally, a rock formation that looks like Cookie Monster could fetch $10,000. $10,000? Listen, for only $10, you can get a rock that looks exactly like Gwyneth Paltrow. This has been your stupid news. I have to thank everyone. I put the Cookie Monster rock story up on my Facebook and asked for people to contribute, and I have to thank everyone that contributed. I didn't end up using any of them, but nonetheless, it was awesome to see what everyone came up with. Eric Dittelman says, great graphic. That graphic is going to get my ass kicked off of YouTube again. It's a rock. It's a geode. Don't you know what a geode is, YouTube AI? If you're watching the show on YouTube tonight, please do me a favor and click that subscribe button, and make sure to also click the bell, and that way you'll never miss a show. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, please do the same and follow me, please. Every set of eyes helps. I greatly appreciate it. And now, let me teach you how to magic.
Teach me how to magic. Teach me how to magic. Teach me how to magic. You ain't messing with my magic.
I'm going to teach you how to do a card trick tonight. So if you have a deck of cards, get it out, because here's what's going to happen. Someone is going to choose a card. For the purpose of tonight's show, we're going to say that that card is, 8 of hearts. So say someone has just chosen the 8 of hearts, and then they put it back in the deck and all that happy horse shit. You know, they shuffle the cards, do all the stuff, whatever. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through and see if we get a special feeling from one of these cards. Got it. Watch. Magic finger. One card rises from the deck, and that card is the 8 of hearts. I'm going to teach you how to do this. This is why I said get a deck of cards before the show. So here's what you do. You have the 8 of hearts. Let's say, and that card could be anything. It's whatever they choose. So you tell someone, pick a card. And for the purpose of tonight's show, we're going to say that they chose the 8 of hearts just to keep this simple. So after that, all you have to do, I'm going to make this part easy too. All you have to do is look at the deck and remember the bottom card. I just made it the Ace of Spades so we can all remember that. So you look at the bottom card and you remember that bottom card. You have them put their card that you don't know what it is. We know what it is. You have them put it on top. And then you can have them cut it like this. Now you know that the card next to their card is the Ace of Spades, or whatever that bottom card was. So as you go through and you look at them, what you're doing is looking for the card in front of the Ace of Spades. And you can see that that card is the 8 of hearts, right here. So once you've done that, you're looking through and you find that card, you just cut that so that it's on the bottom and you're looking at it, okay? So they don't know that. They think the card's somewhere in the middle and you're just looking through. Here's the fun part. You're going to use your magic finger and make that card rise out of the deck. Here's how you do it. You go like this, and it's acting, and then watch the side view. Right? Isn't that awesome? You can't tell that because, you're looking this way. So you can't perform this surrounded. This is really good for a camera, though. You do this. And then don't do, look, is that your card? Because then they just see it's on the bottom. It looks cooler if it looks like it's coming out of the middle, right? This looks like it's coming out of the middle of the deck. And then tuck that pinky in before you raise your hand up. It's dumb if you do this. That's stupid. You want to do, and you're like, rock on. It's like this. This is what you do. And then you pull the pinky back, pull the card up, and show it 8 of hearts. And if you've done it correctly, I have taught you how to magic.
Teach me how to magic. Teach me how to magic. Teach me how to magic. You ain't messing with my magic.
All right. Great Balls of Flint is what I'm going to call you. Says that's proof that magic is metal. Jim Spinato says, do I have your permission to feature the card trick at comics? Yes. Just do that. No explanation, just blow their minds. Dittelman says, this is going to my virtual show now. I'm here just to get more material. It was funny when I saw you earlier say, I have to get a deck of cards, because I'm sitting there thinking, now I wish I was teaching him something, good. Secret to Rising card, finger guns, or hand revolvers. Love it, Cameron.
Here's where Cameron goes berserk.
Pretty good stuff, everyone. And we've got Jim Spinato here, too.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year.
I love being able to use these. So like the Jim that's a Patreon, he doesn't ever show up in the show, so I got to use that anyway. Dittelman says the great graphic comment was for the Wonka kids. Oh, thanks, man. Eric and Cameron are both. They help me write the stupid news segment, and so throughout the week we go back and forth. And anywho, I have taught you how to magic, and that means the next segment is it is time for a joke. A young New York woman was so despondent that she decided to end her life. She was going to throw herself into the ocean. But as she ran to the end of the dock, a young man stopped her. I know what you were about to do. My God, you have so much to live for. Look, I'm a sailor and my ship is off to Italy tomorrow. I can stow you away. I know exactly where. I'll take care of you. I'll bring you food every day. I'll keep you happy. With nothing to lose, combined with the fact that she had always wanted to go to Italy, the young woman accepted. That night, the sailor brought her aboard and hid her in a small but comfortable compartment in the hold. From then on, every night, he'd bring her sandwiches, fruit, water, bottle of red wine, and make love to her until dawn. 2 weeks later, she was discovered by the captain during a routine inspection. What are you doing in here? Demanded the captain. I have an arrangement with one of the sailors, she replied. He brings me food, and I get a free trip to Italy. Her conscience got the best of her, and she added, the truth is, he's screwing me too. He certainly is, the captain said. This is the Staten Island ferry. My God, that one was bad, but awesome. It's time for the Wheel of Jokes. I love the Wheel of Jokes because last week we had a good joke. The week before that, I hated the Wheel of Jokes because we hadn't had a good one in a few weeks. So we're going to spin the wheel and see what book we're going to read from tonight. It's gonna be Reader's Digest. Oh, God. Reader's Digest. Taylor Hurt says, brutal.
Taylor to the plate.
Taylor, there are 5 jokes in the Reader's Digest Laughter the Best Medicine. I grew up reading this shit, and I love these jokes. Okay. Taylor Hurt, please tell me a number between 1 and 5. Just tell me in the chat. And I will read whichever one of these. There are only 5. Number 4. Okay, here we go. Here's joke number 4. Oh, God, this is horrible. I went on a 45-day diet. It's going great. I've already lost 30 days. Reader's Digest might be the worst one of these. Oh, God. Okay. That was really bad. But Jim Spinato, you can tell that joke at comics. It's time for a story. My guest tonight is a Columbus, Ohio native who was voted Best Comedian by Columbus Alive 2019. In addition to that, she runs, all over the town. She runs comedy rooms, including Growling Gremlin, which is a great comedy room. They have a comedy showcase. She co-hosts and produces the Stand Up for Choice comedy show. She has been a regular on Whiskey Bear Comedy Festival, Rocket Ship, Super Dope comedy showcases. Please welcome my guest, Amber Falter. What the heck is up? Amber, hang on. I got to unmute you because I lost the button. There we go. Ask to unmute. There we go. I can see you. Now I can hear you. What's going on, Amber? How are you?
Hi. Is it working?
It's working as long as I keep my internet connection going.
Yes. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's been a long day. I've done a lot of shows, and I've had I did a magic show at 7 p.m. for a group. And my internet went out at 6:55.
Oh, that seems like no problem at all.
No problem. You just deal with it. You just do it. And then it came back at 7:01, and so I was able to do the show. It was fine. And then it happened here too, like right before the show. So it's like Spectrum's watching my shit and saying, I don't think the jokes are going to be good this week.
They're probably mad at me being your guest because I always pay them late and I'm very mean to them.
Well, that's it. Yeah. I should have, we should have used like, this is Marie Falter. We should have like,
yes,
they would have
known.
Yes. So, what's new with you? Are you doing comedy at all right now?
No. I'm not, there's nothing in like the real world going on.
Yeah.
And if there is, I'm just not doing it. Yeah. So kind of just done some streams and stuff. It's been real fun. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to have you here. We tried to get you here last year. And I feel like, in the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was doing a lot of streams, like a lot of the open mics around town turned into weekly. They weren't even people doing material. They just ended up being chat shows, which was fun. It was fun. It was good, but it was kind of like after a while, we all just kind of stopped doing that. I have to say, I really admire the Columbus comedy scene, looking at it as kind of like the magician outsider. I really, I've taken part in a couple of like the comedy festivals and stuff. And I always love like how everyone knows each other and for the most part respects each other and hangs out. And it's really been cool to see. And you're a big, a big part of the Columbus comedy scene and have been for how long now?
Oh my God. I think like 6 years.
Yeah. So you've only been doing comedy for 6 years?
I'd say like regularly or like professionally, I guess, if you can call it professionally. It's still so weird to call it that.
It does, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing I get. It's like imposter syndrome. When you do something that's really cool and you get paid for it, you're like, I don't deserve to be calling this my job.
I'm just an asshole who goes to bars.
Right. And, like I literally, I got up, I had a show today and then I went and so this is kind of embarrassing too. I'm big into birding right now. I'm a
Not
birder.
Weird. I love that. My boyfriend birds.
Does he really?
Yeah.
That makes me feel better.
Yes.
So that's what I did today between shows is I went birding and I was looking around and it's a Tuesday afternoon and all the other people birding were retired. And I was like, how much of an asshole am I that this is just, I can just do this. And so I try to take some like appreciation for, some self-love and be like, it's a cool thing. Regardless of all the frustrations that we can't go on stage and you can't do your normal comedy rooms or whatever, you're still a comedian. You can say that. Don't ever feel bad about calling yourself a pro.
Thank you. It's weird, especially now. I think sometimes I get stoned and I write new joke premises and then I'm just like, cool. Who am I going to say that to? Nobody. All right.
Well, it'll be great. We'll have some very specific like inaugurations based jokes in 6 months when we go back on stage and people will be like, you have to, okay, for this joke, you have to remember where everyone was at 6 months ago.
Remember that a lot of people were dying every day. Okay.
This next joke is based on Bernie Sanders and how he wore mittens.
God. Well, I like how you said that it sounds like you've had a productive day. You did some like birding, you got outside. I've taken like 3 showers and a nap. That's
3 more showers than I've taken, I think.
Like there's so many like small specific reasons why I needed to take 3 showers and we won't get into it.
Okay.
But I've spent most of mine just in the shower and doing nothing. So yeah.
we have a chat says, Taylor Hurt says, hey, I get stoned and make up jokes for no one too.
Yay.
That's awesome. That's good.
Yes, I love that.
So we're bonding with our viewers right now. I brought you on to tell us a story. So do you have a good story for us?
Sure. I think I do. So I feel like I ran out of Windex today and I was thinking why it made me super nostalgic. Growing up, like my mom cleaned everything with Windex. I saw no other cleaners in my house. Just everything was cleaned with Windex constantly. So that was like just the only cleaning product I ever thought to use. So I ended up being like a toddler and I have some brothers. So she'd just bathe us all together like pigs. I don't know. We'd all be in the bath together and I was small and squirrely. So I'd run out of the bathtub, butt naked, get on my big wheel and ride around with a bottle of Windex. So there was just a loose toddler, me, butt naked, running up to my like neighbors' houses, and I would just spray Windex on all their like car windows, on their like house windows, just like so unsettling. But I would always do that. So a few years later, I'm a little bit older now. My dad, my mom and my dad split up. My dad was raising us on our own, right? And he's trying so hard to be like the cool single dad, which basically he's just not saying no to us anytime we want shit. So we're getting all the games we want, all the toys we want. He's doing his best and he's trying to, you know, one up mom at the time. So I think I'm like 10 years old and I went to him and I asked him if I could get a gerbil. He was like, that a filthy rodent for indoors? Why not? So I get a gerbil. And then I'm bragging to all my neighborhood friends about my gerbil. And they're basically like, our parents are too smart to get us a gerbil. So my dad, trying to win more children's love, just really spreading his fucking wings. He is like, you want a gerbil? I'll get you a gerbil. So my dad ends up buying like one neighborhood kid a gerbil, and then the other girl next door, and then her brother. We end up with like 13 gerbils.
That's too many gerbils.
It's way too many gerbils. And what happens is my dad's like, the only way you can get a gerbil is if you take care of the gerbils, right? And I'm like, of course. And then all the neighborhood kids are like coming by after school, like, I want to see my gerbil. And I'm like, fuck you. I wake up every day. I tend to gerbil. I love gerbil. I feed gerbil. Like, fuck you. Like, I was just like playing like gerbil god. I was like, not today. And it was like exhausting. And it was like way too many little stink rats to have in a cage that we got from a garage sale. So anyway, one morning I go down there and just going about my duties. And I realize that there's only 2 gerbils left in the cage. And I'm panicking. Everyone, I wait forever. I'm like too scared to tell my dad. He's going to beat my ass. All the kids are coming by after school. Can I see Petey, my little Pete? And then, no, not today. I'm busy doing kid stuff. Like, I'm freaking out. I have no idea what to say to anybody. And a week goes by. My dad doesn't notice. He's raising 3 kids on his own. He doesn't give a shit as long as they don't become his problem. However, they did. We started smelling something quite rancid in the home.
Oh, no.
And it was definitely coming from the basement. And my dad had asked if I had been taking care of the gerbils. And I said, yeah, the few that are left. So we went on a little stink hunt. We followed the smell.
No.
And it turns out the majority of the gerbils, they had a little party, a little escape party. I must have not locked the cage because they all, the majority of them that had escaped were all in the sump pump. And I stood there crying as my dad fisted little black gerbil body after black gerbil body out of the sump pump. So I felt like a real dickhead. And I really wanted to step it up. My dad was like, this is disgusting. How could you let this happen? And I was like, I'm going to take such fucking good care of these last 2 little PetSmart rats. I'm so sorry. All the kids are coming by. I'm like packaging their little bodies in tissue boxes. I'm like, we're going to have a big funeral. We're going to have a funeral for every fucking gerbil. We have like a mass grave of gerbils in my backyard. I built a whole graveyard for the gerbils. We decorated all the stones. It was very intricate. But really, the story ends with my last 2 gerbils, correct? So I have 2. I'm doing everything. I'm playing with them. I'm giving them treats. And I'm cleaning their cage. But remember, the only thing I remember how to clean things with is Windex.